You bought a pre-built because you did not want to deal with parts, but now you want a game and it feels weak, loud, or both. The good news is a lot of pre-builts can become solid gaming rigs with a smart upgrade checklist instead of a full rebuild. Let's turn that office box into something game-ready for 2025. First, pop the side panel and get the facts. You need to know the power supply brand and wattage, the motherboard size and chipset, the CPU model, how many RAM sticks are installed, and what storage you have. Take a clear photo of the PSU label. Look for the motherboard name printed on the board, and note whether your RAM is 1 stick or 2. This tells you what is realistic and what is not. Next, check the PSU quality. If it is a tiny, no-name unit with weird wattage claims and number 80+ rating, do not strap a big gaming GPU to it. For light 1080p cards, you can sometimes get away with a solid 400 to 500 West unit. But for anything more serious, you want a known brand with honest wattage and proper PCIe connectors. If the PSU has no PCIe cables at all, only SATA and Molex, upgrading the PSU becomes step 1. Then look at RAM and storage. A lot of pre-built ship with one 8GB stick and a slow hard drive. For gaming in 2025, you want at least 16GB in dual channel and a decent SSD for Windows and your main titles. That often means adding a second matching RAM stick and dropping in a SATA SSD or NVMe drive if the board supports it. Just going from HDD plus 8GB single channel to SSD 16GB. Dual can make the whole system feel new before you even touch the GPU. Now think airflow and case space. Many office cases have almost no vents, no front intake fans, and a solid front panel. If your case has 0 fan mounts at the front, it will struggle with hotter GPUs. Look for at least 1 front intake and 1 rear exhaust spot. If you cannot mount any front fans and the case is tiny, your realistic GPU options are limited to low-power, efficient cards. Stuffing a furnace-level GPU into a sealed office chassis is asking for throttling. Once you understand power, RAM, storage, and airflow, choose a GPU level that matches your CPU and PSU. A mid-range 6-core CPU with a decent 556 50W PSU and at least some airflow can handle a modern 1080p or light one 440p card just fine. A very old quad-core with a junk PSU and no front fan should be kept to modest GPUs, or else you are just creating a loud, hot bottleneck box. Match the card to the platform, not your ego. When you install the GPU, use the right PCIe slot and cables. The card goes into the top full-length PCIe slot closest to the CPU, not some random lower slot that looks convenient. Use real PCIe cables from the PSU, ideally 1 cable per connector for hungrier cards. Do not use SATA adapters unless you enjoy gamble-level risk. Once installed, tidy the cables so airflow is not blocked, and double-check that fans can spin freely. After hardware is in place, clean up the software mess. Pre-builts are loaded with bloat, trials, vendor junk, auto-updaters, and trade tools. Install a clean GPU driver from NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel, and make sure Windows is reasonably up to date. Then dial in temperatures and noise. Add at least 1 front intake and 1 rear exhaust fan if the case allows it. Make sure airflow direction is correct. Front pulls in, rear pushes out. Use motherboard fan control or a small hub to set calm but responsive fan curves so the system is quiet at idle but ramps smoothly when gaming. Watch CPU and GPU tongue in a real game and make sure they sit at same numbers, not panic levels. Finally, set expectations and test. Run a few benchmarks or your main games and compare performance to similar CPU-GPU combos online. If you are within a reasonable range, you have done your job. The point of this checklist is not to turn a random office box into a Halo PC. It is to turn it into a stable, cool, and competent gaming machine without throwing everything away. If it still feels rough after power, RAM, storage, airflow, GPU, and software cleanup, then it might be time to plan a new case and PSU or platform upgrade. But in a lot of situations, a smart parts refresh and some airflow love are enough to make that pre-built feel like a completely different PC. If this checklist helped you see a clear path from office box to game-ready rig, follow and subscribe for more grounded PC upgrade and tuning guides.